With the truck up on the lift, start by removing the drive shaft on the rear. Use a 12-point wrench to loosen these bolts. And the drive shaft should slip out from the transmission. Since this is a 4-wheel drive, we will remove the front drive shaft. Remove the nuts where the U-joints are.
Our cameraman has just discovered this joint
It's well shot.
yeah.
You can see that this U-joint is worn out, so we'll have to replace it later on. Next, drain both the transfer case and the transmission. Remove the shifter cable from the transmission and loosen up the mounting bracket that goes with it. Start by removing the exhaust. Use an impact and remove the exhaust bolts carefully. Remove the exhaust heat shield to gain access to the oxygen sensor. And we are going to loosen the exhaust hanger on the rear. We'll also remove this hanger that is bolted onto the transmission. And now we get our transmission jack underneath our transmission. Make sure to put a block so we don't crush the oil pan. And now we're ready to start loosening the crossmember. So we start by taking off the crossmember support. Now these bolts you cannot easily get off, but you can take the nuts off. The bolts are between the frame and the cab, so we'll have to take the nuts off like this.
There we go.
So it comes off just like that. Wow, look at all that gunk. And once we do the other side, the crossmember should come off like this. And make sure the transmission is again supported. This pipe should slide out pretty easily, but unfortunately it is difficult to remove, so we're just gonna have to cut it and later patch it.
So the only thing holding that exhaust right now is that pipe right there. That is supporting the weight of this whole exhaust piping in its entirety.
Alright, so moving on, with the transmission supported, we'll slightly lower it down so that way we can remove those top bolts that are hard to get to. We're going to be taking the transfer case off separately from the transmission. So remove the 4-wheel drive shifter linkage and make sure to unplug the wiring harnesses that go with it. There's normally a breather hose that goes here for ventilation for this transfer case. Unfortunately, it is destroyed and we're going to have to replace it later on. Once you get all the bolts off, the transfer case should slide out. You might have a little bit of fluid, so be aware. So now what's left is we just have to remove the transmission. We'll start by taking the front shield off so we can get to the torque converter, and we're going to loosen the torque converter nuts. Keep turning the crank until you get all of them. Remove the transmission cooler lines as well, using a flare wrench. Remove the starter. Now make sure everything is unplugged from the transmission. Double check on each side to make sure you don't have connectors that are still plugged in.
Well, that was gonna happen.
That's the problem with fix. If you're not careful, you will destroy electrical connectors.
Don't forget to remove the dipstick as well. And now we'll finally start removing the transmission bolts. We'll start off with the top ones, which are the hardest to get to. Especially these two top ones. We're gonna have to use a long extension to get to those top bolts, which makes it a whole lot easier. So with our power tool, we were able to loosen all the transmission bolts, and now this transmission should come apart. You might have to wiggle a little bit. Careful when you lower it that you don't drop the torque converter.
Get all the weight. It's all on me.
Wait for a second. Check everything on this side. See if you look. Lines are out of the way.
Good.